and kicking to the side. Can you do the, whoa, there we go. We just went all Nat Geo. You know the song, right? Holy cow. Let's do another how-to video today. How to can. And after that ridiculous display of not athleticism you just saw out of me, can't even keep a beat, lost my sandals, almost fell over. You can see how the trick got its name, right? Look at what we're doing here. The can is a high energy, physically demanding dance.
To get your legs that high, what kinds of stretching are you doing?
That became a popular music hall dance in the 1840s. The main features of the dance are the vigorous manipulation of skirts and petticoats. Don't have that today. Along with high kicks, splits, and cartwheels. The dance was considered scandalous, and for a while there were attempts to suppress it. This may have been partly because in the 19th century, women wore pantalettes, which had an open crotch. Management did not permit dancers to perform in revealing undergarments. Occasionally, people dancing the can were arrested. When you start researching the origins of tricks, usually you're like, oh yeah, Ryan Nyquist did it in 87, or oh yeah, that was like Clifford Adaptante flying Hawaiian, Tommy Clowers in 1997 to 2001. You usually don't go to Wikipedia and start reading about stuff in the mid-1800s, yet when you're researching about the can, that is the case. I may not be wearing a frilly dress, and I may have normal boxer shorts on, but look, this is exactly what the trick is, right? So you can see how it got its name. It basically comes from having fun with your friends, right? That's the origin of this trick, is hanging out with your friends, arm in arm like this, and kicking to the side. Listening to that song is like eating an ice cream cone. There's no way you can eat an ice cream cone with a frown on your face. There's no way you can go arm in arm with your friends, do this without having a good time. And doing a can is having a good time. So I'm going to teach you how to do that trick today, and we're going to do it the same exact way as we did the no-hander how-to. We're going to start with baby steps. A little exercise you can do even in your driveway. To prove it, I'm going to show you that exercise in my driveway. And once we've dialed that in, we'll go to the jump and we'll learn how to do it in the air. But I think anytime you're learning a trick, you need to start small. You need to start somewhere that is not dangerous, somewhere that isn't going to put you in jail. So we're going to wear pants. So we don't have to worry about going to jail for indecent exposure for this scandalous trick with such crazy origins, unlike any other trick in the mountain bike trictionary. We're going to start small, safe in the driveway. And now is the time to do that. Let's go to the driveway. I'm going to put some shoes on. This is ridiculous. I thought it was going to snow last night so much I put this thing on. All right. So we're in the driveway again, because if you can come up with a little baby step that you can do in the driveway, you can practice the trick before you even get to the jumps. I have an exercise that I used when I learned how to do no-footed cans way back when, and it's another one that'll make you look ridiculous. So you want to do it when nobody whose opinion you care about is looking, because you look silly doing this. Not as silly as if you were wearing a frilly skirt, but still pretty silly. But it'll get you somewhere. It'll get you to the point where you can do a no-footed can, and that's what we're here for. That's why we're in the driveway with these little tips. So today I'm just using a trail bike again. You don't need a fancy dirt jump bike to be able to do a no-footed can. It's another trick, just like a suicide no-hander, that you can do on any bike that can catch air. Brace yourself. Here's the exercise for this trick. You're gonna look ridiculous. What we're going to do is we're just going to jump up off the pedals and touch our feet together over the top tube. And if you can do that, then you get an idea of where your top tube is, so you don't clip your feet on it when you're in the air and there's more consequence. So here's what it looks like. You basically just get balanced, you jump up, and you touch your feet above the top tube. The first couple times, since you don't know where your top tube is, you might not go up high enough, and you might clip your feet on there. And then you're going to know, all right, I just got to elevate, levitate a little bit higher until your feet are clicking above the top tube. It's just kind of teaching you where that top tube is. And for every bike, the top tube is going to be in a little bit different spot. So hop up, touch your feet. Because if you can touch your feet above the top tube, you know you're clearing it. And to do a no-footed can-can, all you have to do is just start putting your feet over to the other side. From here, just over to there. So that's what we're going to do when we get to the jump, is we're going to make sure that we level out. Just going to lift our feet up and touch them above the top tube. I think my neighbors think I'm even weirder than they thought before. So let's go to the privacy of the dirt jumps and go to step 2 of the baby steps. Doing that little ridiculous looking foot click in the air. Let's go. We're gonna do more of those. I keep looking for gaps. Let me know if you see any.
Okay. There's one right here.
Yeah, oh, here's a gap. This looks like a good gap to learn a no-footed can on. We're gonna make a no-footed can how-to right now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, can you do no-foot cans? No. Oh, you're gonna be able to after this video.
Okay.
Okay, so we did the driveway exercise to baby step our way into just knowing where the top tube is, so you don't kick it. You don't like lock your foot up going over, or even worse, if you're coming back and you clip it with your heel on the way back, that's a crash. So that's why that's the most important part, is just making sure your feet and your top tube are buddies. They're holding hand in hand, kicking their feet back and forth. They're in cahoots with each other, and you don't clip. So with that said, the main thing once you get to the jumps is don't do those feet clicks the same way you did on flat ground, because you're probably going to endo. You're going to go over the bars, get a little bit nose heavy. So when we're on flat ground, this is how we're doing those feet clicks. We jump from our pedals all the way up, but you see how you're leaning forward a lot? You want to warm up on the jump with a bunch of just straight no-footers. You literally just jump level and start testing by taking your feet off a tiny little bit at a time. So once we've gotten to there, now you're ready to start doing those feet clicks. But the thing to remember is don't jump off your pedals like you do on flat ground, or else you'll go endo. You jump in the air, just take off normal like you would a straight arrow jump, and wait until you have that little moment of weightlessness. You feel completely floaty in the middle. Now. And that's when you can do your trick. That goes for any trick you're going to try, especially ones that involve taking your hands or your feet off. You wait until you're at the middle of your trajectory where you have that weightless moment, and then you can kind of just lift your feet up to do that foot click like that. And so I'll show you how to do that a couple times here, but the thing to remember when you're watching these next few shots of these foot clicks is I'm waiting until I'm in the middle of the air, like pretty much right where I'm sitting right now. Now. Equidistant between the lip and the landing, that's when you let your feet start to hover, you let them start to float, and you basically baby step the baby step. If the baby step is getting your feet to touch above the top tube, your baby step for that is just lifting them up a tiny little bit. When you're doing no-footers, you're going to be putting your feet out to the side, and that's good to just get comfortable with having your feet off the bike. But for these baby steps, these foot clicks, just lift them straight up. And if you feel yourself starting to get nosy, starting to endo, just put your feet right back on land, and then just remember next time, your next jump, don't start taking your feet off until you're at that hover point, that right in the middle where you're getting floaty. Pick your feet straight up until they're above the top tube, and then you start trying to bring them in to touch each other. I'll show you what that's like. All right, so when you're letting your feet hover up off the pedals, straight up like that. Straight up. Oh, I'm getting pretty close. See, when you're getting to that point, your knees are getting up close to your chest. You're like, I gotta be above that top tube now. Then you can start moving them in to see if they touch. If they touch, you've done the ugliest trick known to man, but that's okay. It's one step closer to one of the most fun and useful tricks known to man. It's like no-hander is definitely the first one, and then this is the second one. So if you watch that video, this is the next trick for you to learn. If you haven't watched that video yet, go watch that one. But if your feet are really close to being above the top tube, move them forward, see what happens. I'm gonna show you what happens if you don't move your feet up enough. This is what happens, and there's no consequence to that. You're just gonna lift your feet up and they're gonna hit the top tube, and you put your feet right back on the pedals, call it a good practice run. You know that you need to lift your feet up a little bit more next time. Through the woods. Okay, if you don't lift your feet up high enough, oh, no big deal. Feet touch the frame. Hopefully you put some protective frame stickers on there so you don't scuff it all up. I just scuffed it all up, but that's all right. That's not the first or last time this bike is gonna take a beating. Now we're gonna lift them up enough. We're gonna lift them up right above the top tube. We're gonna put them together and we're gonna celebrate, not because that looks cool or it's even a trick, because we're one step closer to no-footed can-can. All right, we're gonna lift them up and see if we can get them to touch. Oh, we did it. Oh, we're there. The feet touched above the top tube. If you're doing that, you know that all you gotta do is with this foot, if you're going to this side, is just come over a tiny bit. We're there, but there's still another baby step before you actually do a no-footed can. The baby step is to just hover. Just like, this is like when you're so scared of fully committing, but it's not a trick like a backflip or a 360 where you have to commit all the way out the lip. You have the luxury of just like infant baby stepping. Tiny, tiny, tiny. We're gonna just get up, or we're gonna move over a little bit. We're gonna move over a little bit. And it doesn't matter which way you wanna go. I ride left foot forward and I'm putting my left foot to the right. So that makes it a little bit easier because it's my forward foot, which is closer to the middle of the top tube going over. But you can do it both ways because this is your safety net. You know, this is your like confidence inspiring little safety move. You know that if you put both feet to the middle and the right above the top tube, it doesn't matter which way you want to go from there. Just decide which way feels better for you. If your friend who's a photographer always stands on the right side of the landing, then it's a no-brainer. You're going to be wanting to kick your left foot over to the right side of the landing so you can get those sweet photos. And that's the way I'm going to do it for this little tutorial. But for the next step, now that we're up above here and we've proved that because we click them, we don't need to click them this time because we know they're above. We're just going to slowly put both feet a little bit over the top tube. And then I'll tell you the next step, which is the most important step. Knowing that they're going to clear the top tube, we're just going to set them right over to the other side for a split second. Oh, now the heart's pumping. Now you're getting excited. You're like, I'm pretty much doing a can-can. It may not look good yet. That's the next step. So now you're starting to feel really good. You're like, I am this close to doing big can-cans and telling my friend to stand with a camera at the side of the jump. But here's one thing you got to watch out for. Right now, what you're doing is you're lifting up your foot and you're just putting it over like that. But think back to the scandalous origins of this trick. That dance move that people used to do, did they do it like this? This is like how you can't do the can-can. This is not the can-can dance. If you're doing this and everybody lined up next to you is doing this, they're going to give you the hook. Oh, Looney Tunes hook. You want to swivel your hips. That's the thing. I was riding at some jumps the other day and this kid was working on his can-cans. He was getting his feet like way over. He was committed, but he was having a hard time getting back. And it was never a moment of like full extension and like that peace, that like calm you get when you're full extension of a trick, where you just enjoy it for a second before you see the landing coming up and then you put your feet back on. If you're not swiveling your hips, then you don't get that full extension. You're just always kind of doing this weird tentative little thing like you're trying to half sit Indian style or something. So once you're up and over, now you can trust that your foot's clearing the top tube, and then here's what you do with your hips, is you swivel them like that. So now you got a can-can. It's like you can go up and put your knee over the top tube, and then know that when you kick, it's gonna go meet your other leg. Your other leg's already out here, and then this one just picks up and meets it like that. You might even be able to practice on flat ground a little bit, where you hop up and swivel your hips. Swivel the hips, kick it over. There we go. Now let's do it in the air. Now we're going for full extension. We're gonna remember to swivel our hips. There we go. That felt real good. That's what a no-foot can's supposed to feel like. Not like this, like so. There we go. Okay, let's do another one. And one thing that I always do when I'm coming back from any no-footed trick as I just use my eyeballs for what they're best at, is looking at things. I look at my pedals. It's like hand-eye coordination, but it's like foot-eye pedal coordination. You don't want to miss your pedals coming back from a no-footed trick. So look at them, watch your feet go right back on. Another trick I always do, I just did it on that one, is once they're right above the pedals, I just pull the bike right up into them. Then they just lock right in and you're good. Slipping pedals happens. That's why we wear shin pads. But it'll happen less if you keep your eyes on your feet, going right to your pedals, and pull your bike up right into your feet if you have the extra time to do it. It'll pay off in lack of trips to the suture room. I got a lot of scars. No, if I can, seriously, always been one of my favorite tricks. Oh. It's fun to do off all kinds of different features. It's good for variations. So, from its origins as a scandalous dance move in the mid-1800s that could get you thrown in jail if you did it without proper underwear, to a classic trick now that can have your friends throwing high fives at you as you throw them at the dirt jumps, the bike park, the trails. This is one that you just need to have in your quiver. So I hope this video can help you learn them. Remember, do the baby steps. Make sure if you like this video, you subscribe and you go watch some other how-to videos that I have on the channel. And then I'll see you next time. Go try your cans, because you can, but you can't if you don't try. Bye. What is this guy doing? Ah!